Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Between the Seams with Marty and Mack, brought to you by the Triple Play Fantasy Network. This is episode 3, and the season is heating up. But before we hop in, Mack, how you doing today? And let me ask you this. How did you celebrate the Carlos Rodon no-hitter?
Bro, I slept good. That's how I celebrated. I fell asleep, my head hit the pillow, and I slept all night knowing that I had a no-hitter rostered on my team. I've actually rostered both no-hitters, which is felt pretty good so far this year.
What was the other one?
Musgrove.
The Musgrove, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
I had Musgrove on a couple teams, but Rodon was sweet because he was a pickup, like a day of pickup. So.
Yep, and if you follow us on Twitter, I'm at Marty_Tallman. You could see that we were actually interacting back and forth. We both picked up Carlos Rodon the day of, right before his no-hitter, which is I've never done before. Have you ever done that?
I've never done that. No, but it was pretty nice. I mean, I had an injury in one of my leagues, and I was like, oh, shoot, Rodon's on the wire. May as well pick him up and see what he has tonight.
Yep, in the league. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, here we are. Yeah.
Yep, in the league I'm in, it's a 12-team roto league, and he was on the waiver wire. In the morning, my ERA's been horrible because I had Anthony Bass early, Luis Castillo, just destroying my ERA. So I think I'm 12th in ERA. So I'm like, I'm picking up anybody. Rodon, go ahead. It can't get worse.
Yeah, can't get worse.
Now I'm in 10th in ERA.
Hey,
so
we're moving up.
He moved the dial. All right, awesome. So now it's week 3, and as usual, Mac and I will be delivering you both 3 pitchers and 3 hitters to stream for your upcoming week. But before we do, we must keep each other in check. So we're going to go back, and we're going to review our week 2 picks, see how they are currently doing. It's Thursday when we tape this, so most teams have played 3 games. A few have played 4 earlier today. But Mac, let's start with you and your hitting. How are we doing so far?
Well, I was kind of hit or miss, no pun intended, but so Candelario was a pretty good pick. He's been hitting pretty well. Actually, the day after we recorded it, he picked up his first home run. But over his last 7 games, he's batting .346. He's got a .452 on base percentage and a .538 slugging percentage. He's 9 for 26 with a home run, 5 RBIs, and he's walking a lot. He's hitting the ball hard. Justin Upton was doing okay. He went 1 for 4 with a single, and then he's been out with back spasms for the last few days. So it's kind of it's kind of what you expect from Upton. He's going to have some games where he's off from injury. He's older.
Yep.
And Jason Heyward's not great. 4 for 19 since the recommendation. He's not walked at all, which is exactly I said. Like he's been walking more, and he had been walking more. The moment I said it, he stopped walking, which happens, but he did get a double off Corbin Burns while Burns was looking unhittable. He took him the opposite field and was the only extra base hit off of him by the Cubs, I think. So
are you fully bought in on Corbin Burns?
Absolutely. I've been bought in on Corbin Burns. Actually, I texted my father-in-law during last year's season, probably less than halfway through the season, and actually dropped Burns in this league because it's like an 11-team league, and you really only you only roster 5 pitchers, and so it's all studs. And I dropped Burns, but before I dropped him, I texted him. I was like, I'm going to regret this because Burns is an ace, and I don't know why I'm dropping him, but I have to make room for this other guy. I don't even remember who I made room for. I think it was Kershaw.
Oh,
So, I mean, yeah, I know. But, yeah, this year I have him on like 5 different teams or something.
And I'm completely out on him, not because of anything that he's done or whatever, but just young guys. I just stay away from. I want to see 2-3 years. And that's it. It's never anything personal. I mean, saying that, I do have a couple shares of Ian Anderson, which just kind of blew up in my face last night. But for the most part, yeah.
No, man, I love Burns' stuff.
Good.
But.
Awesome. All right, well, let's take a look at my picks here. So Tyler Naquin. So we're going to start off rough. So he's 0 for 3. Which is actually the highlight of his stats, because with his 0 for 3, he has 2 did not play. So we're going to see Cleveland. They're playing Cleveland over the weekend. That's actually part of the second part of the matchup I wasn't looking forward to. So at this point, I'm just hoping he bats. So far, not so good there. But Akil Baddoo, Detroit Tiger outfielder has completely redeemed my stats for this week so far. Baddoo's, he's 5 for 11. He has 3 runs, 2 home runs.
Stop. He can't stop.
He can't. He cannot. It's just, Tigers fan, obviously I say it each week. It's been amazing watching him. It's so much fun. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's mashing the ball. Coming up, he has a 4-game series against the A's. So the A's currently have the worst pitching team in baseball. Their ERA is 6.00. So I expect him.
Is that good?
You know what? It's if you cut it in half, yes.
Yeah.
So
if you cut it in half, it's okay.
It's okay. So he's got them, 4 games against the A's. I assume he's going to play in at least 3 of them. They're still doing the tiptoeing around, letting him play each game. Hopefully that stops. And then lastly, Omar Navarez, the Milwaukee Brewers catcher, 2 for 7. He's got a run, got an RBI. Plays Pittsburgh over the weekend, who also, has one of the worst pitching staffs. So overall, I'm betting 333 this week with 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and 4 runs. So that's a lot better than last week.
That is better than last week.
So we'll see how that ends up. Like we said, we're going to be keeping track of that. That'll be up on the website. I did talk to our humble leader, David. He thinks, what we should do is write an article, and then each week we update the article with how the players did.
Not a bad idea.
I was like, that's crazy enough to work. So we'll start there. So we'll be getting that up to you in the next week. And then let's move on to week – or actually, no, let's look at the pitchers. So, who do you got for week 2? Who are your pitchers? Have any gone yet?
Week 2 was almost exactly like hitters. It was like a good, a meh, and then like a not good. So Skubal, not good. If you remember, I mentioned last week his velocity had been down a little bit across the board. His RPMs were down. This came back to bite him. Gave up 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 hits, 4 innings. So not good for pretty much any ratios. Yeah, rough. My bad on that one. I had a little bit more faith in him. I thought maybe the velocity problem was going to be like a 1 outing thing. It was not. I would sit him until he gets that velocity up because right now he's just leaving everything over the plate and it's super hittable. Do you happen to know how many Ks he had off the top of your head? Because that's the only reason why I would be, thinking about scooping him. I actually think it was only like 3 or 4. Okay. I don't know why I didn't write it down, but yeah, I think it was not very many Ks. He didn't get very many whiffs on anything. Yeah. Not great, but.
The Tigers, it's okay.
Montgomery was the other guy I had that's kind of a meh. He had a no decision through 5. He gave up 2-run shots. I think he had 2 different 2-run shots. I think he had 4 Ks. I believe in Montgomery. Still, I think he's just going to give you quality innings. He's not going to be like this crazy like ace, but I think he's just going to continue to give you quality innings. He's got a 3.27 ERA so far, a 1 whip. 1.00 and 11 to 2 K to walk ratio going.
You gotta love because you probably got him off your waiver wire or maybe your 5th, 6th starter. Yeah, so I mean, as the 5th starter, we're picking him up as a waiver wire. I mean, just keep throwing him out there. I think he's going to be great for ratios. And then Kikuchi was the other guy I had, and Kikuchi, I'm taking that as a win. He got a no decision. He had 6 innings pitched. It was a quality start. He had 6 strikeouts. Not as many Ks as last time, not as many whiffs, but he was grinding a little bit with his stuff. Gave up 1 2-run homer. That's it. But he's got a good matchup against the Orioles tomorrow. So he's still got 1 more. He was a 2-start pitcher this week, and I like him a lot against the Orioles. So cool. All right. Well, yeah, we'll have to track that. But yeah, so far he looks like he's, on track. So here's my 3 pitchers from week 2. So number 1 is going to be Steven Matz. He pitches today at Kansas City. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you how he did. Pretty much the same thing with Drew Smyly. He pitches tomorrow versus the Cubs. The Cubs are still awful at hitting the baseball. So I want to say they're still ranked dead last in average as a team. Let me see here. ESPN, they are. They're batting 163. Yeah, I know they're striking out the 5th most. 122 Ks. Yeah, so I mean, we're just not seeing it. Like I said last week, I bought in the Rizzo. I thought Baez was going to be okay. I thought Bryant was going to be okay. And it's just, it's a reason maybe why they started to pull out and they didn't want to start spending money. Maybe the writing was on the wall and even the front office saw it, even though the fans can't. But I don't know. We'll see on that. But
we'll see.
It's not looking good.
I'm all bought in. I've been bought in on Ian Happ for a while, so I'm really hoping he turns it around.
So many shares of Ian Happ. You're right. And it was the second base, outfield eligibility.
Second base, third base, outfield. Yeah.
25 homers probably, right? Maybe 10 steals.
Yeah, I mean, he bats leadoff. He usually walks. He's been striking out a lot, though. That's been the Cubs' problem.
Okay. I haven't lifted up the hood on him, but I got him in TGFBI, and so I try not to be too reactionary with the leagues that I actually want to do well in, but those are the ones you care about the most. So then it's hard to balance that. But yeah, and then so Wade Miley on Monday he went 6 innings versus the Pirates. So the Pirates, they're one of the worst teams in baseball. Like I said, also with Brian Hayes out, it's just there's not really there's not too much Major League Baseball talent on the roster. So he got a win. He struck out 3. He only allowed 2 singles, and he had a walk. Sunday's going against the Cleveland. So they're the second worst hitting team in baseball. They're batting 195. So I love that matchup coming up. So I think Miley is going to work. I think, I'm confident. I think all 3 are going to be pretty good this week for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, let's pop up to week 3. Upcoming hitters for the waiver wire. We're going to look at hitters here first. Mac, who are you telling the viewers to pick up for this upcoming week? And just to clarify, because I know it depends on which league, some people are in week 3, 4, whatever it is. So this is April 19th through April 25th.
Yep. So I think he's just the big thing about the waiver wire is you want to roll with hot bats, especially if you get someone injured. Jed Lowry is that hot bat for me right now. He's 39% owned. Look, this man is 37 years old, but his last full season, he posted 23 home runs, 99 RBIs, 78 runs. He seems to love it in Oakland. He's second base eligible pretty much everywhere. Mm-hmm. If you need an Altuve fill-in from COVID, second base is a wasteland. And he's batting third. A's are hot. They won 5 of the last 6. I saw him take he had an Oppo 3-run shot the other night. I was watching. Yeah, I didn't even know he had that Oppo power in him, but it looked easy. Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I laughed is because, I go through, I was going, doing the research for the show and just for my teams, and he was popping up everywhere. And the reason I'm like, I'm not going to put him on this list because I was hoping you were, because how can you not mention Jed Lowry?
You got to throw.
It's insane. It's why baseball is like one of those weird sports where it's almost like professional wrestling. You turned it off for 10 years and it just happens to turn on and the same guys are playing.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You're still here?
Yeah. Just goes to show you the Mets, the Wilpons didn't know it. Just the worst at running an organization, especially after he's come out and been like, yeah, if you guys had just fixed my knee when I said I needed my knee fixed, I could have been doing this the whole time. But
brutal.
Yeah. So I'm going to go a little bit of a steals play for the next one. And this is going to be more specifically for next week. I think you could hold on to this guy maybe, but Raimel Tapia, he's an average steals play. He's going to help you in both those categories. He batted 321 last year. He actually finished 8th in the NL, and he had a .369 on base percentage. He had 8 steals in 51 games last year. He's already got a steal this year. He's already got 1 homer this year, and he only hit 1 homer last year in 51 games. He kind of sold out a little bit for average over power, but he's a young guy and he's hitting in Coors most of the time. So I think that he's easy got 10 home run pop in him if he gets full playing. But the big thing for this next week is they've got they're going to be at home against the Mets. So Colorado.
If only Syndergaard was pitching, he would for sure have 2 steals.
For sure. But the thing is, McCann's still behind the dish, and McCann's given up the second most steals of anyone. He's tied for second most steals given up
there we go.
This year. So
that's a good stat there.
Yeah.
I was fully in on Tapia. Coming into this year, I got him as my 4th, 5th outfielder. I was hoping he'd start up at the top of the order. He kind of flip-flops, right? He'll be like
he does.
8th and the 1st, back and forth. But started off the year super rough. But it looks like he's coming into his own this last week or so. So I'm fully behind him.
He's batting 286, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 28% owned. I mean, I like him a lot if you need help in the average. And average is down league wide. I mean, every team needs like a Donovan Solano, Raimel Tapia if you're playing Roto.
Luis Urias,
Luis Urias. And then third and finally, I got Evan Longoria.
The vets, man.
I just love a cheap veteran value. And you said you avoid young guys, so you got to be the same way.
Yep, that's why I love it.
Yeah, fade. If everyone's gonna fade these guys, look at Longoria's StatCast numbers from last year and this year, and just come back to me and tell me the guy still can't hit. He's not chasing. He hits the ball hard. He's got 4 home runs already this year. The biggest thing is to watch for him is he has a lot of oppo power. And at home, AT&T Park is like the worst hitter park. It saps the most power of any park there is, especially for lefty batters. Of course, he's a righty, but he hits the ball oppo a lot for power. So, he's going to get some extra base hits, but if you're playing him for homers, I don't think at home is going to be good. But this next week, he's playing the Marlins and the Phillies away from home, and he's got more pop away from home. So, I don't know if you need a budget third base guy. Longoria's your guy. This is a deep league. He's 27% owned, but he broke his hand in 2018, and the last time he had a really good season was 2016, 2017. 2018, he broke his hand. He was out for 6 to 8 weeks. He finished that year kind of rough. 2019, he seemed to not really put it all together, but 2020, 2021, it seems he's fully recovered. I think he could compile counting stats in the Giants lineup, which is pretty good. It's surprisingly
sneaky good.
Solid.
Yeah.
Especially against lefties.
Yeah. Yep. That's literally what I was just about to say. And with Longoria, the TGFBI, the 15-team league, he is somebody that I'm seeing on my waiver wire each week, and I'm thinking about picking up to plug him in as a utility because he's getting you, like you said, the counting stats are there. And there's so many hamstring, quad injuries, COVID, things that are going on, all this different stuff that's actually hard just to fill up this, those big, long, deep lineups. And he's Longoria right now. He's locked and loaded, and he's doing well.
And he's still practically Gold Glove defense. So he's going to stick in that lineup so far. So, if you're someone who drafted Josh Donaldson and you're just are done with his headache of all of his injuries and stuff, I think Longo's your guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm one of those people that's out. Those soft tissue injuries from Donaldson. I think he's back now. I think maybe yesterday.
Came back yesterday. Yeah.
But I'm staying away.
Linger.
Yeah, they will, especially for him. Let's. Was that all three?
That's all three. So I got Jed Lowry,
Raimel
Tapia, and Evan Longoria.
All right, put it on the board. I'm excited to see those three. And then for me, my week 3 hitters, number 1 is going to be Phillip Evans. So Mr. Cabrian Hayes' backup, Pirates third baseman. He's 27% rostered in Yahoo leagues. In 11 games, Evans is slashing 342, 444, 633. He's got 3 home runs, got 5 RBIs. 8 runs scored. He's pretty much free. I think for me, I'm finding third base is a place where I have a lot of injuries, and it's getting hard for me to fill in. So the Eduardo Escobars and the Phillip Evans that are coming up out of nowhere are really helping me out. So I think he's rosterable pretty much on all formats for the next week or so. We don't know what Hayes' injury. There's still no timetable. So he just started swinging a bat, but they said he's definitely not going to be back when he's first eligible from the 10-day IL. So Evans is locked and loaded in here for the next week or so. The Pirates next week have 6 games. Again, first 3 are against the Tigers. The Detroit Tigers have a 5.09 ERA. So I'm expecting, them to be able to bat around there. Twins, a lot better. They're 3.32 ERA. They'll probably play, Barrios. But, hey, at-bats are there. He's going to be 3rd, 4th, 5th in that lineup. Adam Eaton. So the old guy. No one, and for the right reason, this guy's a punk. From a
saw that today.
He was at Andres Jimenez. He pushed him after the stolen base or whatever, just a bunch of nonsense, and Twitter blows up immediately because everyone just hates Adam Eaton, probably rightfully so. His own teammates Because if your teammates don't like you and they get vocal about it, which I don't really think happens that often, like overall, it's bad.
Not usually. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, he's 40% rostered right now. I think he's surprising all of us. He's batting .262. He's got 3 bombs. He even has a swipe. And he's tied for 3rd in the majors with 11 runs scored.
Yeah, he's surprising everyone but Tony La Russa with his galaxy brain batting in first.
It's an old school guy, old school manager, puts him in at the top, and look. For now, it's paying off.
It's working right now.
It's working right now. So if you need runs, especially in the Roto League, which I think runs, and I've said this before, they're always a little overlooked. 11 runs scored. You put him at the top of you put him in there. He's gonna get you what you need. Lastly is Adam Duvall, and this is the first time I can honestly say that I'm ever going to say roster him. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I underdrafted home runs. I wanted to make sure I mixed in a lot of 20, 25 guys who could get you 10 stolen bases. And as I'm seeing that now, my stolen bases are piling up, but my home runs are kind of lacking behind. So I'm looking for these guys on the waiver wire, the Hunter Renfroes, the Adam Duvalls, just to kind of just balance that out at the back of my Roto roster. So Duvall's 24% rostered. He's now on the Marlins, for those of you who are trying to keep track with him. He faces the Orioles and the Giants next week. So 2, middle of the road to bad pitching staffs. He's batting .316. Like I said, a couple home runs. I think he has 4 home runs right now. He's a great source of power, and he's hot. He's a streaky dude. When he's hot, you play him. He might hit you 3 home runs in the first 2 games and strike out the rest of the week. But
yeah. He was horrible before this series, actually. Yep. I think he was batting like 140 before the series with the Braves. And then he has 9 RBIs. He had 9 RBIs against his former team. So,
that's what it was, the revenge.
Yep. I'm an Atlanta fan. I can tell you, when he's hot, actually, I saw a statistic. I think he's hit the most home runs of any player since the start of 2020. So,
really? Actually, you know what? Yeah, because I think he had 14 last year, right?
He's 16 last year.
16 last year. Okay, then there you go.
Yeah.
So hey, he's basically like, if you need power, it's proven it's going to be there. So
yeah, he put a ball that was on his shoestrings 447 feet the other night.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
To review, Phillip Evans from the Pirates, Adam Eaton, White Sox, and Adam Duvall, Marlins. Those are the
Adam
3
squared.
I'll be going with.
Adam squared.
Yep, that's true. A squared, baby. Gotta love it. Okay, so let's hop into week 3 pitchers. Hit me with your 3 arms you got going.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna go with the popular guys. I've tried doing some deeper league picks. I got 1 deeper league pick, but this one right off the bat, I'm an Atlanta fan. Huascar Ynoa. He's 46% owned.
Beautiful pronunciation, by the way.
Thank you. He's I've heard him say it plenty on the. I've heard his name a lot for a while. I think we got him in a trade with the Twins a few years back.
Okay.
And he's a little bit of a post-hype sleeper. He was hyped up for a while. Then he was pretty bad in the minors. Well, he's been back and forth. He's been a very up and down pitcher, as many of the Braves prospects have been, aside from Ian Anderson. But he was 1% owned before last week. Now he's 46% owned. I'm a little wary. He's a 2-pitch pitcher, which is always dangerous. But right now, his slider looks disgusting. Like, it's absolutely nasty. He gets the Cubs next. So they've struck out 5th most in the MLB as a team. You'll see a theme in my pitchers so far as far as teams that they face for this week. But Ynoa, he looks good right now. He's got a rotation spot locked in. And if he finds a 3rd pitch, he might have a rotation spot from now until the end of the season, because the Braves are kind of missing that 5th guy, especially they need that depth. So that is my number 1 guy, especially going against the Cubs. Number 2 is Griffin Canning, 19% rostered. I've been kind of in on Canning for a while. And his last 2 outings have looked solid. He's gone 5, both outings, at least 5. He's mixing his pitches a little differently. He's going primarily slider. He's throwing it 47% of the time.
Yep.
It's getting a decent amount of whiffs.
27% from last year.
Yeah, he's getting a decent amount of whiffs with the slider. It looks good. He's had some bad luck. He had, like, the last game, he had 2 errors that extended an inning pretty long, and then so he's had some errors, some bad luck on balls in play.
Let me ask you this real quick, Mac. Have you ever participated in a league where they tracked fielding percentage?
I have not, but I've heard that's a thing.
I have, and it is. I was in a roto league which I had 21 categories, which is insane.
That's whack.
So it was one of those where we just tried it, just to see stolen bases against pitchers, so I can tell you who has a slow step.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just next level stuff. But don't waste your time doing it. But having a Gold Glove, third baseman, second baseman, shortstop, it makes a huge difference by the end of the year with
that's wild
fielding percentage. But just wanted to ask because we've done it before. Don't recommend it, but it gets you that. It gets you thinking about defense, how often do you think about that?
I think that could. I think that's a good thing to incorporate into fantasy. I'd like to see it more but I wouldn't want it to be fielding percentage because then it's like, I mean, the fielding percentage is such a flawed stat, as we all know. So you'd want it to be like UZR or something like that. Defensive run saved, but yeah, where was it? Canning. So Canning, I think he's going to get whiffs. He gets the Rangers next, and the Rangers have struck out the second most per game of any team so far. So I like Canning against the Rangers. I think this could be the start. That could be a big step forward for him. There's been some buzz around a couple of his teammates, Bundy, Haney. But I think the Canning, especially with the clear steps forward with his pitch mix, I like him a lot. And then finally, we're going to go old guy once again, Michael Fulmer.
Here we
Michael Fulmer is 6% owned. There he is, a Tiger. His velo is up 2 ticks across the board from last year. He had a rough year last year for the few innings that he threw. But I mean, if you remember, and I'm sure you do, a few years ago, 2016, 2017, he's a solid ratios guy. I mean, he's a 3.5 ERA guy.
There were trade proposals for Alex Bregman.
Yeah. And his fastball that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, his fastball's back to that. I mean, he was sitting a little over 95 his last couple starts. He's not going to get a ton of K upside. He's mostly a contact pitcher.
Yep.
But he gets 2 starts this week, one against Pittsburgh and the other against Kansas City.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're looking for some ratio help and you want a 2-start pitcher, I think Fulmer's your guy. He's going to get that old guy value. People have forgotten about him because he was injured over the last year or two.
Yep.
But I'm encouraged to see his velo up on everything, not just fastball, breaking, everything, spins up. So, I mean, I like it. I like the matchup against KC and Pittsburgh. Kansas City, I think, is striking out the most of any team. Pittsburgh's been surprisingly good, like you said. Phillip Evans, some guys, Colin Moran, they've all been hitting well, but I just don't think you can count on them. And so they're still not. They're an offense you want to stream against.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, piggyback on what you said about Fulmer and his, his pitch usage. I mean, his slider usage is up. What is that? I think, 11.9. Percent from last year. I mean, that's just insane. So, and what I've seen a lot with the Tigers and what they're doing, they're having their guys, Mize included, decrease their sinker usage, and then sprinkle that over whatever other supplemental pitches that they have, or maybe work on a 4th pitch or whatever it is. So it's something that I can't. Federer, our pitching coach that we just got, the Tigers just got. But it looks like that's something that's a point of emphasis is decreasing the sinker usage.
Sinkers aren't in vogue anymore.
They aren't. They are not. Okay. So what were your three again?
Huascar Ynoa, Griffin Canning, and Michael Fulmer.
There you go. All right, awesome. All right, let's take a look at my 3. We're going to start off with, on the other side of that coin of the Kansas City Royals, is Danny Duffy. So, Mr. Duffy, 16% rostered. He's going against the Detroit Tigers. 12 innings. Duffy's only given up 1 run this year.
He's looked good.
He's looked good. Yeah, 11 Ks. Tigers are one of the worst teams hitting-wise in baseball. They're going to be at Comerica Park. What I've liked from Duffy is he's throwing his 4-seam a lot more. and his velo's up about 1.4 miles an hour on it. And so it just looks like it's brought him to the next level, which for him is, pretty much mediocrity, but I'll take it. And especially against the Tigers, I think he's going to do well there.
Man, it's crazy that we like never collaborate on these picks, but like we somehow always end up missing each other because you're 3 guys I'm looking at right now, and all 3 of them were like my 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, there it is. And I was feeling it with the hitting as well. They're almost like mirrors of each other, which is pretty funny. So Casey Mize going against the Royals. Mize is 34% rostered in Yahoo leagues, and Mize has been good this year. Last year when we came up, the Tigers and prospect heads and everybody, expected him to hopefully be maybe not dominant, but MLB ready. And that's not what we got. So it was a big struggle last year. This year coming in, it looks a lot better. 11 innings, he has a 0.82 ERA. He's got 9 Ks and a 1.18 WHIP. The Royals and the Tigers have scored the equal amount of runs this year from an offensive perspective. So they're both bad, in other words. And looking at Mize, he's cut his sinker usage down about 12.9%. And he's balanced it, upticking his four seam, his slider, and his split finger. And on each one of those pitches, the four seam, the slider, and the split, he's up 2 miles an hour on the four seam, 1.4 on the slider, and I think 1.2 on the split finger. So we're all the things that you want to see. Mize finding his repertoire, knowing how to use the pitches and then building on his velocity. I know it's super early, but it's promising to see that from him.
Yeah, and I tweeted about him before the season started too, actually, about how I feel like too many people were out on him. Prospect fatigue is way too real. I think there's a lot of value in guys who get fatigued like Mize. And I think
he would have a different narrative around him if he didn't. His first game, wasn't a no-hitter, and that's how we were all introduced to Casey Mize as this, what should be a force, and then you add in Skubal and Manny, and it's kind of taken on its a 3-headed monster of its own, where there's kind of these expectations that are not even, they're too high. He just needs to keep building on that, and he's so young, and the Tigers are gonna hold him down as long as they can. So Casey Mize versus the Royals, 34% roster. Get him in your roster. I think there's somebody you can actually hold on all year. And then lastly, Matt Shoemaker. So I'm not leaving the AL Central at all this week. I'm just literally realized that.
Pound him.
So Mr. Shoemaker is somebody I never, ever, ever tell people to pick up. He's everything I don't like. He's all over the place. You get your Ks, but you have to pay for it in your ratios, and he could possibly sink your whole team in one start. That said, going against the Pirates, he's 32% rostered in Yahoo leagues. The K percentage is there. The Pirates strike out the 6th most in baseball. Shoemaker's moving his pitches in, out of the zone. His chase rate is, I think, in the 92nd percentile. And he's just not walking people. And that's what I want to see from Shoemaker. Him be able to balance his Ks with not getting too wild. I think the Pirates are the right team to do it with. The Twins should get him plenty of runs. So, I'm going to fire up Matt Shoemaker for that matchup. Yeah,
I streamed him last week, and it was a solid stream. Yeah. Give me a good ratios, good outing. And, may as well stream him while he's healthy.
Yeah, and that's you're right. And he's always probably just, a couple steps away from that. But awesome. So, let me just review those 3 for you viewers. It's Danny Duffy, Casey Mize, and lastly, Matt Shoemaker. And when I have more time, Mac, I have a funny story about Matt Shoemaker that involves him and I playing dodgeball at a young age. But I'll be at a different time because we have
next time.
Quite the cliffhanger there. So for you all listening here. So, but we have hit our time. Again, this is week 3 with Marty and Mack. Mack, as always, it's a pleasure to hop on here and talk baseball with you. Remind the fans where you can be seen and where you can be found on Twitter. And are we getting an article soon? What's going on?
We are. I'm almost out of accounting classes, which are the ones that are killing me time-wise right now.
That makes
sense. I got 2 weeks left, and the light is at the end of the tunnel. But I also have been hitting a little bit of writer's block because April. I don't want to overreact.
It's the worst time. Anything I'm getting out is just reacting to what's going on, but not putting my name behind it because who knows.
And I'm a deep dive guy. I'm thinking Longoria. I might be writing up an article just on like old guy values.
I love
the next time I put one out, because that's what I've been figuring. That's sort of my thing right now. But you can find me at JChristianMack on Twitter if you're interested in that sort of thing. That's where I'll be.
Awesome. All right, Mac. Well, I'll let you get going here. Again, this is Marty Tallman. You can find me on Twitter at Marty_Tallman, lead fantasy baseball analyst for the Motor City Bengals, and then also write articles and do this amazing show with Mr. Mac here at the Triple Play Fantasy Network. So thank you all very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Signing off, everyone.